What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. Today we're going to be looking at the Kingdom Leader Class Ultra Magnus figure. To preface, I did have the Netflix version of the Seige figure, and it wasn't a bad toy, but because this came out, and I thought that the vehicle mode at least would, in the robot mode, would look better with my newly acquired Studio Series 86 figures at the time, I decided to go ahead and trade away my Netflix Ultra Magnus in hopes that I'd be able to get this guy, and I did, and that's ancient history. But here we go into the review. We've got Ultra Magnus here. He is, a car carrier looking vehicle. You can't open the back or anything, but you could still plop some guys on the top if you wanted to. I've got his gun up there right now. One thing about this one that was not an issue with the Seige versions is that these don't go as far, because the truck, the pauldrons used to plug into here and the truck used to plug into the pauldrons, so the truck cab is actually farther forward than it used to be, so his hands are kind of exposed and he does this. Ooh. So we've got a droopy boy, but that's okay. Taking a look at the details, he's got the clear blue windows there with the silver grill vent here, and he's got the nice like the around the window is painted silver, so the top part of the windshield wipers is painted and the bottom part is not. We've got some silver picked out around these lights with Autobot symbol there. Some of them blast bumps from Seige. You've got silver for the window. All the rims are painted silver. Molded black tires, if I'm not mistaken. You can see a little bit of the blue peeking out there and the Autobot symbol on the robot shoulder. Missiles molded in white, painted the tips in red, and they're Seige compatible. Going down the side, no painted detail whatsoever. On the back, you get silver and red for the shins of the robot mode. Coming up the other side, again, no painted anything. The top is just the color it's molded, except I believe this red panel looks a different red than all the rest of this. I don't know if it's just because it's somewhere else, but I think it might be painted. Whatever sprue it was on wasn't the right color, so they had to paint it, maybe. And then there he is from the bottom, and he rolls. My table is just loud. Even this doesn't sound good. I think it's just the plastic rolling on this table. But there he is in vehicle mode. That's pretty much it for his vehicle mode. Real quick, we'll take a look. Well, actually, you know what? No, we'll do that after we do size comparisons, so you guys can see the size comparisons next to the full bulk of them. Did I plug this successfully? No. Okay. There. That's what's not in place. I may have successfully untabbed this. Alright. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do some size comparisons. Why aren't you lining up, Magnus? Magnus. There we go. There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead and get into some size comparisons. Alrighty, here he is with our good old friend, the Rubik's Cube. With our other good friend, the Gormagalis statue. And with our final familiar face, here he is with the Volkswagen Beetle Bumblebee. Definitely not the right scale there. Here we have him with last Friday's review, the Leader Class Kingdom Megatron. Out of the two of these guys, I think I like Megatron better. Just because I like the character more, and because this Earthrise version of the mold has that issue with the trailer not hooking on that great, and he just kind of looks stumpy anyway. But there you have that. And last but not least, here he is with next Friday's review, the I want to call it the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. Now, if I had the upgrade kit for this guy, he would be my favorite leader from the trilogy. But without it, he's there with Megatron. I watched all of both series, both the original Beast Wars and the Galaxy Force, or Cybertron, if you will. So I like both of the characters. I never had either of the toys, so I'm glad to have a version of them now. And I actually really like how this guy turned out. Like I said, the upgrade kit would help kind of fill this in, and it would help give him some height in robot mode. It would kind of distinguish him from the Ultra Magnus. The Ultra Magnus kind of got away with this gap because they put the step in there, but the Seige version and this Optimus just have this gap, and the upgrade kit swings one of these wheels forward and puts it in that gap, and it doesn't look bad for him because his wheels are practically covered up anyway. So if that swung forward, then it wouldn't hurt anything there. It would actually help because the wheel wouldn't be covered. There he is with the Cybertron Optimus from, I want to say, Seige. Alrighty, that's what we've got for our size comparisons. The first thing I'm going to do is take the trailer off, and then we'll do some, just look at the cab by itself for a second, and then we'll do the actual transformations. This clip system is awful. I hate it. It looks so weak, but then it doesn't want to come off. Ugh, jeez, I hate that. So here's the mangled corpse of his trailer, and unlike the Seige version, it's not all in one piece. So we'll go ahead and put this over here for now. Get that out of there, and we'll take a look at just the cab. So that's what it looks like on its own. The hands are obvious, the feet don't do anything interesting, and that's a shame that he is the way he is. But we'll go ahead and take a look at his transformation individually, and then we'll look at how his components work, and we'll arm him up. Alrighty, to start off with his transformation, I'm just going to take the legs and detach them from each other. When you do that, there is a tab and slot system here that keeps them in place, and so when you swing them out, you can get them around that and rotate them down. We'll fold his heels out here, and then we're going to leave the lower body alone for now. His arms are going to swing around on this armature. This big tab goes into a slot here, and there's a little notch on his arm that kind of rests there. So we'll swing these around. We're not going to plug them in yet though, just swinging them around to get them out of the way. We are going to swing the cab section around to the front, open it up. It just got a tab and a tab and a slot and a slot. We can rotate out the prime head, close that up, close the arms around it. There's a slot and a tab there. And then I rotate his hands when I turn him into a truck. You don't have to do that. Rotate his hands. And then you're supposed to take the bumper and line up this rail here, slide it to the top, and then clip his torso back in. And there you have the individual Optimus mode of the figure. This is it's not terrible. It really does just kind of look like it's not complete, which is kind of the point, because the body is just really big. I'm used to, as a lot of people would say, I'm used to the anime proportions where you've got a shorter body and the legs are super long. This he just looks squat in comparison, even though he's not really that squat. It's just the proportions I'm used to. We'll go ahead and take a look at this mode's details. So he's got the silver on the crest, red painted eyes, a light blue mouth plate. It's lighter than the windows anyway, and it's lighter than what the body's molded in. I keep bumping my tripod, my friggin' fraggin' frou tripod. You got that Autobot symbol, nicely painted, even though there's a molded line going through this side here. That's not an issue with the paint. There's literally just some line work. The waist looks really good, nice and primey with the triangles, and it was funny, I had my Masterpiece Optimus Prime that I just reviewed, and my son comes over and he's like, "Daddy, your robot has 3 rectangles and 2 triangles," because, you know, he's 4 and he's excited about shapes and stuff. It was so cute. Going down the legs, there's no extra paint here, really, to speak of, unless some of this white is painted, but I don't think any of it is. You've got the painted rims on the side, the arms, got the gray joint in the middle, little pseudo smokestacks there. On the back you just have the bumper, and there's no additional paint revealed or anything. You've got these gray clips that are annoying sticking out of his legs. You can kind of see some stuff in here, but that's for the Ultra Magnus armor mode. So we'll go ahead and take a look at individual posability. You've got a ball joint at the head, so he can look not too much up, but he can look down really good. Then he can do tilt. You can be confused. You can rotate. The head, the arms are on a full 360. And they do have a 90 degree, a little over 90 degree outward bend. You can bend the elbow 90 degrees. And then you've got the bicep swivel. And then of course the wrist swivel, because I used it for transformation. You've got a waist swivel. And this works whether the bumper is on his butt or his back. You can still access that waist swivel. We'll leave that there because we're going to need it down in a second. He's got universal hips. Now, regardless of whether this bumper is here, this never goes away, so it's not going to move back that far. But you do get out pretty much all the way. He's got a thigh swivel. It's a little limited. The molding starts running into other parts of him, and the mushroom peg comes right off too. That's new. Then you've got, I want to say it's molded that you could get over 90 degrees here, but not here, so you're only gonna get 90 degrees there. And then for the feet, you've just got ankle tiltage, no forward or backwards. You can move the heels if you so desire. That's pretty much it for the individual mode. So we'll go ahead and get him armored up here. Alrighty, for starters, I'm just going to separate these and then put them off to the side. The trailer, the top is going to unclip. You've got these 2 sections here, and they go down over these hooks, so like so. So we're just going to lift that up, remove these forearm guards, and open them. And then we can take these missiles off, and we'll just put them off to the side. I could have plugged them onto the shoulder guards now, but I'll just wait for that. Then for this back section, we'll take his gun out too. For this back section, it's clipped in here and here, and the reason I say clipped is because they act like tabs, but there is multiple sections of it, and they go around this wonky looking Tetris piece of a tab, and then this one is similar, but you've got 2 clips, tabs, whatever you want to call them. So separate those, and then you can pull his legs apart. There's just various tabs and ports, and then you can pull this part completely clean. These tabs go into these slots here, and then this central tab just goes into the slot at the top on both halves. And we'll put that down, and we'll start transforming these leg sections. Fold this in, fold it all the way back, and then as you're no, I always do this wrong. How do you do this? How do I always do this wrong? I always do that. There's a way this all fits together. No, I had it right the first time. Alright, I'm doubting myself. Fold the farthest flap back, then fold this on itself, and then as you're bringing it in, you want to bend it into this L shape, and then there's a couple of tabs here that tab into it. I just wasn't bending it into that L shape. So there we've got one boot. We'll do the same on the other side with less doubt. Fold it in, create your L, and put it in. Remember kids, L stands for leg. And then we'll take his torso piece, we'll clip the back together, fold the window detail in, and then this is ready to go on. So we can bring this guy back in and get him prepared. Fold in the heels, unclip his arms so you can rotate his head back in. Helps if you expand the chest. Back out, close that up, and then while you had it out, you would put the bumper down, but I already did that to show off the waist swivel. So the bumper's down, and you can go ahead and snap that back, and then pull his waist out, rotate it, put it back up. There's your Ultra Magnus waist. We'll start adding bits. The boots, same kind of clips that were used in the vehicle mode, kind of go into those two holes there, and then you've got a tab here at the top where the torso bit plugged in, and now a peg on the leg is going to tab into that. So we've got it on both sides here. For the arm armor, you're going to have it so that this is going to be behind his wrist, so you're just looking, you've got a peg here, and it's going to go into the hole, the Seige port on the outside of his arm, and that's that. So this one's going to go on the other arm. Hooray for arms being done. Then with the shoulders, they're going to slide over the smokestacks. There's a little groove in there that they're going to go into. You can kind of see it from this angle, so you're going to slide that over there. And then coming to the back, this gray piece is going to fold up, and they've got a slot, and there's a tab on the back of the shoulder of the figure, and that's going to connect. And we'll do it completely from the back on this side, so just slide that on, fold up, and connect. Then we can take its missiles and plug them in. You can have them going up or down. I will plug them in going up so it doesn't hinder his outward shoulder movement. And then we'll give him his gun so we can do a head reveal, because I know how much everybody loves head reveals. Hold your gun, Magnus. There you go. So there he is with his gun. We'll go ahead and plug his back on, fold it down. There's two little red tabs here that are going to go into his shoulders, and then there's two tabs on the underside of this that are gray, which okay, that's molded in gray. I was right, that is painted red. And those tab into the torso, and there you have Ultra Magnus in his big old robot mode that Ultra Magnus is supposed to look like. It's fun that they took the leader class armor thing that they were doing and made it like the original toy, which was armor that just went over basically a white Optimus Prime. So that's him. We'll go ahead and zoom in and take a look at his details. Oh, my camera's going sideways. There we go. His head is molded blue. Looks like he's got, that's either clear plastic. It's clear plastic eyes because he does have light piping. He's got a silver paint on his face and his little antennae here. These shoulders are painted white on the blue plastic, and then you've got the same paint on the missiles. That chest plate is the red painted component I had suspected was red painted, and it is. On the gray plastic, you've got clear windows there where you can see the Optimus Prime windows showing through. He gets blue on his arms just from the component, no new paint, but the color breakup is nice. The waist is molded. I don't know if it's this the same component here, but it's painted white here for sure. I just don't know if the blue is painted on. It might be molded white, painted blue, and then painted white. Coming down the legs, you got the same paint that was on the back of the vehicle, the trailer, and then around to the side, there's no new paint or anything, just car carrier kibble. Then you've got the bumper butt and the red backpack, no new paint here. You got gray components, but that's about it for paint. Zoom back out here. You can give him a 360, so that way if you couldn't see what I was talking about, and I'm afraid you might not have been, there you go. You've got him in all of his Magnus glory. Oh look, a paint tap on the inside of his leg I missed. It's just askew. Alright, for posability, he's got a ball joint at the head again, so he can look up a little better than the Prime can. He can look down pretty good still. He can still be confused. He can still do a full 360. Arm posability is pretty much the same actually, because it still goes out, but this time it is more akin to 90 degrees, and it still does the full 360 rotation. Still get 90 at the elbow. Okay, a little less than 90. I lied to you guys, I apologize. And then you can still do the bicep swivel. He still has a waist swivel, but the situation with the waist is that part of his backpack gets caught up on these nubs. But if you just slide it up a smidge, rotate it where you want it, and then slide it down, no problems there. So you basically just lift his backpack up a little bit. It kind of pops his shoulders out, but you only have to do it as long as you're twisting this, unless you just have it that way permanently. And the legs are the same deal. A little bit less at the knee joint, just like the elbow, but they'll still do outward, they'll still do forward, they'll still do back the same amount, because the leg is still hitting the component at the same time that the kibble is hitting the tire. And then he does have ankle tilts still, but his legs are feet are molded at an angle that gives him a little bit of an A stance. That's his posability in a nutshell. We'll go ahead and angle back down a little bit. As far as weapons go, he's got the 2 missile pods and he's got the gun. His gun's got ports on it so you can plug in more guns and stuff. He's got ports on his arms where you can store it, and if you want to, is that in all the way? Yeah, I'm just being paranoid now. He's kind of drooping. If you want to, you can plug it in this hole in his back for weapon storage, but I'm just going to leave it in his hand. If you really didn't like the gun sitting on top of the trailer like I had it, because I didn't care, you could find a way to shove it up in his trailer. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some size comparisons and get into the final thoughts. Alrighty, and now for a comparison, we have him with our Rubik's Cube, our Gore Magala statue, our Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, with the other Kingdom Leader Megatron. This is something we've seen before, but you're gonna see it again. And finally, with his remold, the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. And like I said, I'm more akin to this character than I am to this one, and no offense to Ultra Magnus, but that just looks like it's gonna hurt way more than that if it was fighting you. And a lot of people think that this is a lazy remold, but if you actually go back and look at the show Cybertron, his legs are molded pretty much like they should be for Cybertron, and he's got the same front legs. So I'm pretty sure this is something they had in the works pretty much from the beginning of designing this whole shell here. And like I said, if I had the upgrade kit, it would give him a little bit of height. It would make his, give him them anime-esque proportions I was talking about. This isn't as bad as the individual Optimus robot, but it's definitely not perfect. And it would fill in these gaps and stuff. I don't see myself getting it for this guy because he doesn't have anywhere to store the cool weapons that store underneath the gap fillers for these guns. And it's just it would give them a different look. And since he's got this thing here filling in that gap, and the tires don't really bother me, so I'd rather just keep him vanilla and upgrade him, and that would be the difference. But there you go. Alrighty, final thoughts wise for this guy. I actually like every version of this mold I've had to a degree. Like I said, the Optimus Prime is probably my favorite. Nostalgia is playing a big part of that, but also I think the upgrade kit fits it the best, and if it had the upgrade kit, it would be a lot better. This guy, the trailer suffers a little bit at the fact that they filled in those holes with the ladders, so that's kind of a trade-off there. And if you're talking about the Seige, the Netflix paint job, this guy is a downgrade. If you're talking about the Seige, the regular release, then they're about the same as far as paint goes. I would think that would be my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is much more successful than the Leader Shockwave with just the extra arms and some boots and stuff. I like that figure too. The base figure, to me, I feel like they could have just released that as a Voyager and called it a day, because the base figure is not that. It's good. I don't want to say that it's not good, but it is not so impressive that the extra bits falling short still makes it worth Leader price. I think if they just took the extra stuff off and released it as a Voyager, that would have been good. But I have it now, so that is Ultra Magnus, the Kingdom Leader. Next review for Leader class, Voyager class type deals is going to be the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. And that's it. So I will see you then. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like the content and aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and watch some more of it. I am going to be linking my Instagram and Twitter, so you can follow me there. The day before a review comes out, I generally try and post to my Instagram, which reposts to my Twitter, so you'll be able to see that. And I hope you guys have a good day.